Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We are live on Twitch and YouTube, and you can watch this podcast. Just search at Tom and Dan Live. Like and subscribe. We'd love to have you.
We're going to do a Halloween special again this year.
Yes, but we're running out of special things. Halloween is less special to it. Once you start showing people how special Halloween is, you run out of things to be special.
Well, you know, it's interesting. It seems like a lot of people got their parties and their celebrations done over the weekend. It's like
let's just get it over with.
This was the weekend of Halloween parties, and then so now actual Halloween kind of is devalued a little bit.
Yeah.
The kids will have fun, but
Saturday night Halloween is the way to go.
Everybody already celebrated Halloween.
Right.
It seems and it's like
not the kids. The adults have.
And then it's like, the Halloween is Thursday as a while,
Oh my God,
a little bit
Thursday.
away.
I'm not missing Thursday night football for Halloween. I'm not. I'm not. I'll put it on outside.
Yeah.
I'll put it on outside. I'll put a cobweb on it.
Then you're like the old man watching Thursday night football.
Yeah, I am.
And then as people
I'll put a witch hat on the TV. I'll put a witch hat on the TV. How many guys are going to be walking around with their kids watching it on their phone? Who's playing? The Thursday night game is never
I forgot who's playing Thursday.
A big game. I like it just because I like Amazon's coverage. That's the Amazon game, right?
Yeah.
I think they do a good job. They got good old men. Like when Amazon was stroking the checkbook for their old men, because when you do football, you got to buy the best two old men you can get your hands on.
Yeah.
And Amazon, they got Al Michaels. I like me some Al Michaels.
You know what they don't need? They don't need 7 panelists during halftime, then you got Ryan Fitzpatrick.
No,
and
he's
got
not needed. And I like Ryan.
But it's like
he's not needed.
You could have 2 guys.
No, who's the fat guy that wears the sweatshirt and the coat? The bald, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
he wears a sweatshirt
no.
and then a jacket over it. Who do you think you are wearing that? You think you're cool? Get that. I think he played for the Eagles. Get the hell out of here.
It's Amazon has too much money, so they're
all they
get
need
everybody.
Is Carissa. No, all they need is sweet Carissa.
Because each guy has to make it very concise and quick because there's 6 people that have to say something.
Who's the bigger black guy that looks sort of like Rick Ross?
They're a former player.
I like him. Keep him and Carissa. That's all you need.
There's Richard Sherman's there. And,
I like Sherman.
Fitzpatrick.
I like
but there's just too many.
Sherman over Fitzpatrick. Sherman over Fitzpatrick.
You have too many people. You don't need this many. You
have too many people. You're like Real Radio.
Well, just have Fitzpatrick. Anyway,
I don't even like him. He's vanilla. Sherman at least has a take. Sherman will say mean things. You got to have somebody on there that's going to give you a take, right? Somebody's got to be on there and be like, well, I don't know. I think Mahomes looks stupid. You need that guy.
So just to finish out with sports, the Dodgers are up 2-0 in the World Series.
Yeah, and then I had to deal with, obviously I went to see the Bucks, and we are going to talk about that. And I rode with one Jack Bradshaw, who is the biggest Yankee fan I've ever met, and he was very upset.
Oh, yeah.
He is not in a good way about this, the way this is rolling out.
Yeah. Now, I'm less familiar with baseball, but I'm guessing being down 2 games is...
being down 1 is all right. Being down 2 when...
But now it's going back to the Yankees.
Correct.
And then so I guess... people have said the Grand Slam...
Freddie Freeman.
Yeah. I mean, that's a ridiculous... That only happens in movies. When you...
But it does seem to happen a lot in baseball. It really does. I can remember there was a walk-off. I think it was a walk-off Grand Slam a couple of years ago. I'm following the Braves. I'm a newer baseball fan. And Ozzie Albies hit one.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't seem... I remember just sitting there in my bedroom staring at the TV, and you're like, this doesn't even seem real.
Yeah.
But I think that maybe those moments in baseball seem to come together more often than not. I don't know. What do you
just remember them more?
Yeah,
and then
maybe I do.
Because it's just iconic.
Yeah, they do stick
walk
out.
Off,
And I do like the walk-off. It's something that we even get more now in football, which is great. I love the, boop, we win. I love that.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Oh, I got a story about that. But before that, you went to the Magic game on Friday, right?
I did, yeah. I've been going through I'm going through a sports patch right now, man. I love, and the family loves going out to, sporting events. And we scooped up some decently priced tickets you can get cheapo tickets for the Magic. I mean, you're going to sit upper bowl, But I like the upper bowl up there with like gringos, and then there's like bathrooms, and now you just walk and get a beer, and they just scan it. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we went to the Magic game. It was the home opener. I will say that I feel a little bad for missing out on are you familiar with the LED geo-fenced lighting installations that are now being used at different sporting events?
I am not. What do you mean?
They're really cool.
The projection onto the wall?
No, they do versions of that. No, this is different. This is like when you walk in, imagine, I don't know what the the Kia Center seats, rather. So let's just say, I don't know.
It's like 14,000.
Okay.
Yeah,
let's say
like
15,000 people,
15,
right?
16, I don't know.
So when you walk in, they have a little bracelet that looks like an Apple Watch sitting on the armrest of your seat. And every seat has one. And this particular bracelet is geo-fenced for where you are in the arena.
Okay.
So it knows your position. And, like, they can, when we're all in our seats and we're all wearing our bracelets, they can, like, write words in the crowd. They can put an American flag in the crowd. It's wild.
Through what, the actual...
The bracelet, like...
lights up?
Yeah, the bracelet has, like, 2 LED, like, really vibrant LED lights in it, and it can change any color of the rainbow. And it can also do patterns. It can do strobe. It can do like a fade in and out. It's like, imagine any fancy LED Christmas tree light. Okay,
yeah.
And put that on your wrist. And then I have one. Maisie has one. Andrea has one. And it knows my position of the or the Kia Center. So let's say I get up and I walk to the left of my seat, and we have made a picture of an American flag. It'll know where I'm at, so it'll change the color of my bracelet to like blue or white or red, depending on where I am in the flag. It knows where I am, and it orchestrates. Dude, it was nuts.
Do they tell everybody to put their bracelets up
No.
so they can see it? Okay.
No, they didn't do any of that.
Well, how can you see it when it lights up?
Because everybody just kind of has them on. I guess you just like, it's like Pavlovian. You go to your seat, and everybody put them on, and then they would just start lighting it up. Like, so during the game, let's say Franz Wagner had a dunk, then they'd be like blue, white, blue, white, blue, white, blue, white. And then the whole Amway is going, like, the whole place is like lit up in succession. It's wild.
And I bet
it also seemed like an extreme waste because it's only used for that night. And then if you leave, it turns off, and it is now a battery to be thrown in a landfill. Which is insane.
They had probably some sponsor printed on there, right?
No,
really,
dude. It was It was literally Orlando Magic.
Come on, Magic salespeople. You missed a good opportunity. I mean, Mo would have sponsored that.
It was wild. I
call Bustecker. They would have put Just Call Mo on that.
I did look him up.
Help you pay for some of the costs.
I did look him up online. There's like Pixel Mob, I think is what it's called. Pixel Mob is the name of the brand. And I looked him up to see, like, I mean, we could do it, but of course there'd only be like 12 or 15 people at the event. We're not going to get that big of a photo. But like, what blew my mind is like, because me and May and Andrew were talking about it after the Magic game, and I'm like, well, of course we can go home and somebody's figured out how to hack these and we can Bluetooth in and you and I can play with them.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. They are just dead on your wrist.
Huh.
Which that to me is short-sighted. Like, if I were the company Pixel Mob, what I would do is I would lock out anybody from using it until the event's over. And then once the event's over, I would make that LED bracelet usable by the person who's wearing it via their phone Bluetooth to give it like...
Oh, yeah, you download their app or something,
boom,
like...
and then you're in business, right?
Yeah,
but the fact that it's just trash now that I brought home that's just batteries and lights that I can do nothing with is weird, right?
Yes.
And I'm not a tree hugger. I am not a Mr. Echo Danny, but I'm just saying, to me, it feels stupid.
Make it useful so they keep it. It's like, print a soft T-shirt. If it's promotion, people will wear it.
Correct.
Make it so you have to go to their app, and then if you download their app, then all of a sudden you can control your own bracelet or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just telling the Magic, if you want to do this again, talk to the Pixel Mob people. Because your product's great, Magic. Your games are great. Your staff is great. The team's amazing, which does matter when your team is awesome. We have a decent young team.
Yeah.
It's a lot more fun to go to. But yeah, me and May were already talking about we'll put it on Dansby. We'll make it a light up collar so we walk up at night. Nope. Thing is dead. But I was amazed at the technology because wherever you would move, so then me and May would get up and move around. And then you'd be different. You know, so like you go over to the side, one side of it, and they're trying to make like, I don't know, like a logo for Frank Gay.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
was so they put orange, right? They would do that. Like Planet Fitness was there, so they did the purple and the yellow. So May's like, I want to be purple. So we'd run down to the thing and hold our bracelet up, and it would turn purple. Because we were moving ourselves within the geofenced ad. Pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
Pretty cool. What do you think they stroked for 15,000 bracelets?
Hard to know. Like it was sometimes, I was about to say with if there was sponsorship on the bracelet, but if no sponsorship, then it seems like
I did like it better. No sponsorship, I will tell you though. The fact that it has a really nice like magic ribbon. Like it says Orlando Magic with the cool colors and the stars and everything.
Well, maybe people keep that magic bracelet just to wear.
We did,
for support.
Yeah. We kept our bracelets, but the little computer on the top is literally useless.
Yeah, I mean,
it does nothing.
Although maybe you could make, 10,000 of those in China for 10 cents a piece.
They were Wuhan crazy.
Yeah, 7 cents. I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
So we'll complete to complete the sports, and we'll be done with it. So I'm driving.
Man, I've been going to so many. I can't stop going, man. I love it.
I'm driving home from Miami, and I'll talk about the goth party on the BDM show today.
You got to sign up. TomandDan.com/registration.
So obviously hungover, real bad.
Today? No, yesterday.
Yesterday, yeah. And hungover to the point where like I haven't had a hangover that long in a while, where it just lasted all day. Like it was 9:00 at night before I started like. Maybe
how
feeling
good does
better.
That feel?
It feels horrible.
No. The 9:30 when it starts to lift, when the fog lifts off, that's the greatest feeling in the world. When you get that shower and you're like, you know what? I think I'm going to be okay now. I think I'm going to live.
I paid for it. So anyway, driving home, and it's the afternoon, and I'm watching the games on my phone. I'm just checking the scores and whatnot. And lately, I've been, I'm always hassling people about doing like large parlays because it's not the proper way to gamble, and
you yell
never
at people
go in.
for that.
So I've been all the time.
I've seen that in the gambling group, right? You called them out,
telling Tracy's husband.
You said he's a fool.
No, I just said you can't win long term like this. It's impossible. It's against math. Anyway, but this particular weekend, I told myself, I'm like, you need to have more fun. It kind of going along the same lines of going to the goth party and dressing like a fool.
You were doing things you were doing things I would never have dreamed you would do, sir.
And so I just made a long shot. Like if I saw this parlay that someone else showed this to me, I was like, what? You just throwing away $10?
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to just take your money and just stuff it straight, where, and then what?
Actually, money's pretty hardy, so you could rinse that money off, and that would actually be a more sound investment.
And so I went along, and then I'm just like betting. I think I had the Pats because I was like, Aaron Rodgers is blowing it, so I took the Pats money line. I took the Lions and the points, and then I took the Falcons minus 2.5 because I like that. I took the Dolphins over. Because they lost, but I
all
like
the
the
while
over.
You're doing this, you feel like an idiot.
I took the Browns because I was like, Jameis Winston started the crab man. And anyway,
the crab. Do they call him that now? Or
no,
they calling him the crab man?
He quoted Eminem this weekend, and people are clowning him. Like, get Jameis Winston on the camera more. That's all I'm saying.
Kirko started rapping in the warm up. Did you see that? Where he's doing his rap lyrics.
He's a nerd.
Oh my God, what a nerd! Kirk Cousins is my wife at quarterback. That's how nerdy he is.
He is super nerdy.
That is how nerdy he is.
Anyway, I have this long-ass $10 and then it's a win.
How were you feeling?
$150.
You felt like a fool with this parlay?
I almost forgot that I made it. Yeah. And then I jumped back on my website because I started looking at all the scores, and I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, Pats win, Lions, Falcons.
Hold on a second here.
Over Browns. I'm like, and then I had to go back to my goddamn sports book. I think it was on Hard Rock, and then I'm starting looking through.
This is you trying fun for the first time.
And then I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna hit this stupid $10 parlay, and then I'm the only game I needed.
What is this doing to your hangover, by the way?
Is making it feel better. The gambling addiction makes my alcohol addiction.
It really is.
So
it's like It's like life's Gatorade.
So
a little bit of adrenaline.
I'm winning all these games, and then all I need is I took the Bears against Washington. And so I'm watching this game. By the way, I'm ignoring my whole family. I'm like, and then I have I don't have my earbuds.
You still got mascara on your face.
Yeah.
And the
Hungover.
makeup.
Driving down a turnpike. So I'm watching this, and I'm watching the Bears.
Yeah. What about old Tony Romo? He's like, maybe they should put Mariota in for this one because his old Jaden doesn't have he ain't got the velocity.
That when I was just like betting underdogs just to jack up the parlay, and so I knew Jaden Daniels was playing, but he was hurt and he had
correct. He's got the rib injury.
So I was like, he's going to be limited, maybe a run less, and I was like, Caleb Williams has been playing better. He blew out Jacksonville, and then they had a bye week, so I'm like, maybe they come back and play well. Anyway, they played real bad, both the teams.
Just think of.
Whereas slower, but and then they do the handoff, or they give it to that huge fullback, and he fumbles. I scream about that. Anyway, so they end up getting the ball back, go down the field, and then they score.
Yeah.
And to go up by 2, then they go for the 2-point conversion.
So what are you thinking with this parlay, though?
So there's 59 seconds left, or 29, and they're up by 3. And then I'm like, what already? I turned my phone off, and I was like, I'll talk to my family now. And then
Hello, family.
And then I was all happy, and then Chris was like, you're in a better mood. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I started lying. I'm like, you know what? I'm
changing my life.
I don't care that I'm hungover.
You know what, guys? We're all going out for a seafood dinner. Dad's treating the family to a seafood dinner. And I'm
telling Crystal, I'm like,
you're so beautiful, baby. Come here, kiss my face.
I know 10 minutes ago I was miserable, telling you I'm never going to drink again. And why did I poison myself?
I'm going to drink right now.
And also, I'm like, we're driving back from Miami on a short turnaround trip, and I was like,
it's quick.
I was telling Crystal, I'm like, well, let's never do this again.
Okay,
because
right.
I'm like, driving down on Friday night and then coming back Sunday morning.
It's grind.
And I'm like, it's too much.
Yeah.
I'm like, and then I'm hungover, and then we're all hungry. Anyway. So, but I'm like, you know what? I changed my mind because I'm happy that I won this ridiculous parlay.
Like, this is fun, and I love you guys.
Yeah. I'm like, let's talk about what Tommy's going to be for Halloween. I started getting involved.
Oh, my God.
I'm rubbing Crystal's leg.
Yeah.
I'm like,
you get on Etsy, you're sourcing out costume. You're like, we can do this with a hot glue gun.
Yeah. So my mood's changed, and Crystal's like, I like this new version. I'm like,
this is Parlay Tommy.
I don't tell her about that.
Okay.
I don't say the whole.
But in your mind, you're like, this new Parlay Tommy's working out.
Yeah, I don't tell her the whole reason I'm talking to my family now is because I think I won a ridiculous parlay.
Oh, yeah.
And so anyway, then 15 minutes pass. I'm like, I'm done talking to my family.
Yeah, all right. That was fun. That was good.
I'm just going to get back on ESPN and start scrolling through the scores, right? And then I scroll through the scores, and then I look at the Washington Bears game. And then I'm like, what? And I'm like, they must have made a mistake.
Yeah, this is obviously a misprint. I've done that too.
They must have just some intern must have inputted the wrong score.
They do that all the time.
And I'm like, how the hell? I was like, and then I'm clicking refresh. I'm like, this is old. Hold on, they got it the wrong way around.
Yeah.
The Bears won by 3.
Yeah.
Washington won by 3.
What is this?
And then the Hail Mary. And I watched it all. Then I watched the Bears defensive back just talking S to the crowd as the play is going on. What the hell are you doing? and then
who was that guy, by the way?
Just some DB is just getting roasted online. But that's why you should never call your shot and do things like that. Like you get overconfident.
I have to find this video again because it was.
They're roasting the hell out of him.
He is just getting skewered.
Yeah.
Just
and he was the guy that kind of ran up there and tipped the ball backwards to the Washington dude.
Right.
And although it's just all crazy luck, But anyway. So. Yeah.
Here he goes. There he goes.
Oh, listen to the crowd. It must have been insane to be there.
Yeah.
To be at a sporting event and watch a Hail Mary at the end for your team to win with 0 time left is that's a memorable experience.
I'll give you the inverse of that. Great segue here. Sitting, pardon me, sitting at Raymond James Stadium as a Falcons fan. By the way, lots of Falcons. Like tons of Falcons, obviously.
Well, divisional game.
Yeah, divisional game. Also very close. It's not that far from Atlanta to Tampa.
Yeah.
And like I'm sure there's people that work in the same areas. But I will say that Atlanta did show up. There are a lot of like black families that will. Like, obviously, Atlanta has a big black community, but like there were some people that had the most intricate away game bus setups I've ever seen. There was one family and they were like high-fiving me because like everybody on my bus is like Tampa, but they had the super coach with the underneath of it opens up, and the underneath of their bus is like a kitchen for like a rich chef, like a private chef would cook.
And
they had a private chef like chopping and cooking, and then in the back they had a barbecue pit, like a full-blown like Porky's barbecue pit, and then they had like inflatable furniture, and then they had a big inflatable Atlanta Falcon helmet.
This is their whole thing.
Dude, but it's, I mean, $200,000 they spent on their setup?
Yeah.
No exaggeration. The bus was $180,000.
Yeah. People get super into it, and if you have money, you dump it into that. And
crazy money.
And then
I've never seen anything like it. They had custom, though, and it may have been Michael. Does Michael Penix have an Orlando connection or a Tampa connection at all?
Possibly.
Because the whole family had Penix jerseys on, and they're not the BS Penix jerseys. They're the plate that has been stitched with the letters that have been stitched.
Yeah.
Everything stitched. They're wearing the $400 real NFL shop jerseys, the game day stuff.
Yeah.
Like, this is the most expensive football setup I've ever seen in my life. Furniture, full coach on side, air conditioned running inside, kitchen inside cooking, kitchen outside cooking.
Yeah.
Fire pit, unneeded fire pit.
Like, they have their own promotional items for their party, like the Johnson family tailgate party. Or they have, like, merch that they printed. Like, these guys get crazy into it.
Okay, thank you.
I like that, by the way.
Ghost of Manu Bull said Penix went to high school in Tampa. I may have been partying. My seats, me and Jim Colbert, sat directly behind, I believe, Michael Penix's family. And they were very nice. Very, very nice people. Well, especially since I was in an Atlanta jersey, it did make a difference. But
and a lot, even if like it's non-family of the player related, like some of these guys, like they make it that this is their whole hobby.
It's awesome.
This is what they're into.
It's awesome.
It's what they're known for, and then I like it. And then the
setup
whole
is phenomenal, and everybody was so kind. Tampa fans, Atlanta fans. Vibe. I don't buy into that any of that BS like. Inner fighting, whatever. Everybody was giving food away. These people were they were tongue in cheek booing Tampa because like most of the people I was with are Tampa fans, but they were like, "Come over, get some food." Yeah. But their setup, dude,
it's changed a lot.
Their setup was on like if you thought the setup at the Daytona 500s were extravagant. No.
Oh yeah,
this was on a whole different level. This was marble countertop kitchen that folds out of bus.
Yeah, the extreme, like it's kind of like the infield of the tailgate party closest to the stadium. The Dolphins, like every NFL team has just a bunch of super rich, and then the super rich fans that have insane setups, and they all just basically kind of compete against each other to see who has the biggest, best, elaborate setup, is spending the most amount of money. And these guys go out, and you could just walk around those areas because they'll give you.
Oh, they'll give you anything. Like beers. The guy had he had every whiskey known to man, like all set.
And they want to give it away.
Oh, they had little cups for you to. Oh, you want a whiskey? Here. Oh, we had they had sausages. They had barbecue. They had hamburgers.
Yeah, and they'll give you the promotional items they bought. You'll be wearing the Johnson family tailgate party shirt, and then you're like,
it's cool.
Yeah, and they just the amount of money they spend on it is crazy. But again, I like it because even if you're not in that level, just like being a fan of a team and making it like. A thing that you do that you turn into
it's like a ritual.
Yeah, a ritual with you go with your family and friends, and you go and tailgate. Like there's been college fans that have been doing this for years, and they make it their ritual to go do. It's good. Like, why not?
Yeah, they were having so much fun. I will say that Raymond James is probably the hottest stadium I've ever been in. We had really good weather, and we finally did get some cloud coverage. But for the first half, me and Jim Colbert were like, "Oh my God!" I don't know. He had to wear a hat. I mean, we were about to I had the sunscreen up. That is a hot stadium, dude.
Yeah. They don't have the Dolphins built a like a shade cover, kind of like they do in soccer, thing where there's where only the fields in the middle.
He gave me a whole new appreciation for like Atlanta at least wearing black, because I had on my black Atlanta, like it was the throwback Atlanta jersey.
Yeah.
And then they're wearing like black helmets. I'm like, I don't even know how you guys do that. I don't know how you do that.
And they put the away team straight in the sun.
Oh,
so
right in it.
So even if it starts going down, the home team gets shaded first. So on Sunday, yesterday, after we woke up, me and Crystal, again, super hungover.
Did you get at it in your costume?
No, because we were staying at Crystal's dad's house.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. That makes sense.
I'm too old
don't
to
do that. Don't do that.
In my wife's father's home.
I don't do that either. I don't do that either. I used to do that. I used to be that guy.
Yeah.
I used to be able to get it everywhere. I have, even I've waned.
And but we wake up the next morning, and then we head back, or before we head back, we decided we need something to eat, right? But we wake up late as hell, dude. We were out till like 4.
Oh yeah, well,
Andrea, it's too late.
Andrea told me, the next morning she was like, "Oh, these pictures are coming in like way late."
Oh,
and she was showing me, and she was like, they were partying like way. That's awesome.
Some of my Miami friends play, but it's too like we didn't leave the party like 2:30. We go back to Turkey Leg's house.
You did it right.
Had a drink. Anyway, but so we wake up late as hell. It's like 10:30 by the time we wake up. We're ultra hungover. The kids are just playing Roblox. We're just like playing whatever. And then
got to though. Leave me alone.
And then I'm asking Crystal. I'm like, "What do you want to eat? I'm starving. I'm so hungover." And she's like, "I don't care. Just make the decision." So
you got to go Chicken Kitchen, right? Or get something that you don't. Well,
I wanted breakfast.
Oh, okay.
And then so we were arguing back. Crystal's like, "Stop asking me. Just make a decision." I'm like, "Whatever I pick, you're gonna hate." Like this is a trap.
No, wait a minute. What if you just got breakfast for you?
No.
I'm just saying, if you know it's a trap, you get breakfast for you.
That's the biggest trap. Then I'll ruin the whole trip.
Right, I'm just asking.
So I settled on International House of Pancakes. I'm like, IHOP.
Okay, I like IHOP. Maisie likes IHOP, but I already know you're going to hate it.
None of the boys wanted pancakes, so I'm like, let's just go to IHOP
the
and eat some grease.
Funny Face pancakes are pretty good, man.
And so I go online, I order it for pickup, right? And there's some IHOP.
Oh, dude, you got IHOP for pickup? That's what scumbags do.
There's something super...
Murderers do that.
There's something unsatisfying about
to-go breakfast. I've never been into to-go. You go to get breakfast.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah, but,
people used to do that in college. Like they'd get like Waffle House to go. I'm like, no way, dude. You go there.
Maybe in college, but once you're grown, you eat breakfast.
The whole chat room is like, yikes, IHOP for pickup.
It's gross. I said that, but at this point, Crystal's like, I can't move, and I'm gonna throw up. And then the boys, and they're still wearing their pajamas. I'm like, I'll just go pick it up because at this point it's like 11:30 a.m. and I'm like, I'm starving. I'm ultra hungry. I need grease. Anyway. So
What'd you get?
I order it for pickup. It's just some garbage. You
get a Grand Slam.
I show
Denver omelet.
And I forget how packed Miami is.
There's a lot
comparatively.
Of people. I've heard there's a lot of people.
Yeah. There's a lot of people.
Yeah.
And it didn't dawn on me,
the beauty of it is they're quiet people though. They're quiet. You go there, like no matter what. It's like being at like a concert in Japan. They're very respectful, quiet people. The Miamians, right? It's like being at a concert in Japan. They don't know when to clap. They don't know when to bow. It's silent. It's silent in the IHOP.
That was pick up. Yeah. They're not. They're very respectful.
I was wrong on that.
They're like you first.
They are. If there's something I know about Miami, it's you first.
And so when I pull up to this IHOP, I'm like, what the hell? Is there some sort of event happening?
Something that makes me laugh that you do is when you pull up to places when you act out like seeing it. It's very funny. What the?
Because I'm like, this place is slammed, and then it dawned on me. I was like, oh no! It's after church, IHOP.
Is that a thing?
Well, on a Sunday, it is.
Ours was barbecue restaurants because you're going for lunch.
The breakfast after church. The Cubans wake up late.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right. Yeah. The Whitos, we'd be at Sonny's barbecue after church.
So I'm like, oh, man. And then I'm like, well, it's been like 25, 30 minutes. I bet, like they're used to pickup orders nowadays. I walk inside, and I've never seen a place so busy.
It's like a Temu warehouse. Like they're pulling packages, and they're naked, pulling
like,
packages down the slide.
Yeah, it's real bad. And then I'm like, oh, my God. So then I'm standing there, and the employees, they're running around stressed out. And then
they're using a broom to push the people back.
So I'm like, excuse me, where do the pickup? And
you made a mistake. There's no excuse me.
They're like, over there. And then I look, and there is a group. You ever seen, like, when people get around, like
a homeless man that is dying?
Like, remember when Trump was throwing the toilet paper at Puerto Rico?
Yeah.
There's just a group of people.
Like people getting autographs. They crowd around.
Yeah. Or like when someone swarms like a water truck after a hurricane or something. Everybody's like, and then they're just they're trying to throw.
Well, normally they start cutting the pallets and they start, like, it's a run for your life scenario.
There is what I believe to be 15 to 17 Uber drivers just swarming around an area.
Oh, God. Uber Eats is the worst, dude.
It's all worst. Uber Eats.
It's the worst. They steal our stuff now. They stole a sandwich of mine from Potbelly over here.
I realized, I was like, everybody is getting Uber Eats nowadays, and this place is, for some reason, not prepared for it. Or they had some people call out.
I have yet to find one place that's ever been prepared for Uber Eats.
I'm sitting there, and I'm not joking. I was there for an hour, 15 minutes. I almost left a couple times and just said, screw it. But the only thing that stopped me is that breakfast nowadays costs $65.
Yeah, it's expensive.
And it's like, I know, but I was like, I'm not walking away from $65. I would walk away at $30. I would have just left. But $65,
you're weighing it out.
I was like, because as a stressed out Spanish granny would come out, and people would yell like, they'd be showing the phone to her, and then she'd be like, ah, and then she'd run back.
The Uber Eats scares Spanish grandmas.
The door swung open, and I looked back, and I'm not joking. There were, those plastic, they give like your to-go order in these plastic see-through.
Well, it's black
containers
on the bottom and it's see-through on the top. Yeah.
There was piles of them. And then I saw a lady. I'm not even sure. The cartoons when they pull your hair from both. They pull their hair from both sides when to show they're stressed out.
The smoke comes out their ears.
She was pulling her hair from both sides. The pile of to-go orders.
Yeah.
And
it's all crap food too. It's just garbage.
And I'm only saying this to just describe to you the situation. I'm not saying it to be.
Who are you gonna say?
No.
Are you gonna say there's a garbage island out in the Pacific?
Yeah. I'm not Hinchcliffing it here.
The chat room wants you to Hinchcliffe it.
And I'm not saying this to be 90s radio or anything bad. I just there was a special needs person that
front of house.
That was waiting also to be seated. And this person was upset, I believe, by the amount of people and the screaming. And then
that can be a lot for somebody. Yeah, it can be a lot.
And then the person was moaning like for 15 minutes straight.
Yeah.
And it was awkward. Because everybody didn't know what to do.
Yeah, well, your facial expression was just as awkward as I would take the moaning over your facial expression.
So I was like, I have to get the hell out of here. I was texting Crystal. Crystal's like, quit texting me. Just suffer in silence.
I'm trying
to sleep. She's like, I'm going to puke. And then I just sat there, got some cold eggs, and then they're left. And I'm like, this is horrible. I'm like, why did I?
So you did get your stuff?
Eventually, yeah. But it was the worst experience I've ever had.
Did the special needs person get their stuff?
That person eventually was seated.
Very nice. See, the moaning worked. You should have moaned.
Maybe
you should have moaned.
Loud for a while.
Sometimes, the squeaky wheel gets a grief. That's what I say.
So then, we went home after that. And I was like, why did we?
Did the boys like there's nothing I like more than waiting a very long time for something that the family wanted. I bring it home, and then Maisie eats nothing.
Barely ate it.
Yeah.
3 bites.
Back to you, Tom.
Ate all theirs. Immediate diarrhea. I'm like, goddamn. damn.
Oh, speaking of which, I had 2 bouts of horrible IBS diarrhea at the Amway, or at the Kia Center.
Oh, yeah.
They have wonderful bathrooms. Also, I would like to point out that the geo-fenced bracelet I was wearing knew I was in the bathroom and would not light up while I was having these horrible episodes of diarrhea. And that was I didn't want it to start going crazy while I'm in the stall. And it knew where it was, so it didn't do it. So hats off to you, Magic.
All right.
That's a gentleman's. I mean, for those of us that suffer from IBS, I got to give it to the Magic. That bracelet knew I was in the bathroom, and it turned off. Pretty damn cool.
I like the stations that they have where you go and you weigh your drink and then pay for it, like a self-checkout.
Yeah.
But they still have like 2
lady
employees.
there, and they're mad as F.
And then have to help you.
Because they're basically helping you eliminate their job.
Yes.
They're standing there watching the future.
But they also, like, you're still hiring a person to overlook everything.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like.
They will always tell you when you get up there, if you make any comment about, like, oh, this is the future, they'll be like, these damn things don't work. They'll always tell you that.
Yeah.
They hate those things.
They do have a problem working a lot of the time.
They don't work. And then so basically, it's broken AI with 2 old ladies next to it that will tell you that the AI is broken. So.
Also, I know this is a random story, but I saw that they rescued some Australian woman that was stuck in the mountains, like a remote area.
It's been happening
for 2
a lot
weeks.
lately.
Did you see that story?
No.
They just found her alive, and she had been out there for 2 weeks. And during her 2 weeks out there, she got bit by a copperhead snake.
Oh.
So she, like, when they found her, she was still, like, they said she was, like, obviously in rough shape, but, like, coherent. But I was like, man, imagine being, like, 1 week into your 2 weeks out there and you get bit by a copperhead snake.
Yeah.
Like, you must think, like, well, I'm done now.
Yeah.
Like, I made it a week, but after the snake bite,
well, what do you do? Do you start hallucinating? Do you have to ride it out? Or you sweat? I'm imagining you're sweating, right?
I don't know. I guess after a while, like, maybe.
Does it just go away?
I think you just have to ride it out for the next 2 days. Like, I think after about, like, 2 days after you get bit.
So you're, like, having a fever and you're sweating, right?
Yeah. You're, like, I imagine you get symptoms. You get paralyzed. Yeah. It looks like you're real bad. Yeah, I don't know. Like,
what happens to you?
I mean, like, for that person must have 100% believed they were going to die after the snake bite.
You ever been bitten? Well, you have been bitten by a snake.
But never a poisonous snake. I got bit by non-poisonous snakes.
A copperhead.
And that radio bit.
Yeah. It still hurt, though, right?
It didn't really hurt that much. It's more scary. Like, the snake fangs are tiny, tiny.
Yeah, it says here the area will become painful, swollen, and red within minutes. The area around the bite will start to bruise, and you'll develop outside blisters. You should experience nausea, vomiting, or dizziness, and the affected limb will have trouble moving it.
Ugh. I was like, man,
so it's venomous, not poisonous. So yes, you can. I guess you'll be okay.
You can live through it.
Yeah, you can live through it, but
it just I'm always fascinated with scenarios where so many things are stacked against you.
Yeah,
and then the result ends up being the other side of it. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Because, like, during the time, if I was there with that person and we've been in the woods for a week, and then plus it was like it gets up, I guess they're in the Australian mountains, and it gets down to like 32 degrees. So it's like freezing temperatures, lack of water and all the stuff that you need to survive. And then all of a sudden,
I don't think about snake.
You get bit by the snake.
Yeah.
I would tell the person, like, I'm giving your chances of living to 0.
Yeah.
Like,
well, you're a little negative too, right?
No,
I'm laying there, and you're like, "Hey, man,
this is it for you.
You're dead. You're dead, buddy."
Yeah. Like, I don't know. Do you want me just to finish it off?
No, I want you just to be quiet. Don't say a thing, right? Just keep it to yourself and just let me die.
This situation
I don't want it. I told you so right before I die.
Dramatically worse with the snake bite.
Chat room. Melissa in the chat room says, my grandfather got bit by a copperhead in the 1970s. Spent a week in the hospital. He says it was the worst pain he ever felt. I don't really know that much about copperhead snakes.
Yeah, I mean, if you get bit by a copperhead snake and then can get rushed to the hospital, I will tell you during the drive to the hospital, you'll be fine. They'll give you the anti. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe if they have to, like they don't have the anti.
But if we're locked inside a dungeon,
yeah,
or like trapped in a cave,
or have been lost, we're already tired.
So all you're saying is you're making an argument for a time and a place.
Well, I'm making. I just
like if we're in the car on the way to the emergency room, I'm going to say you're fine, buddy. You're fine. If we're in the middle of the woods with the helicopters not coming back for 2 more days, I'll be like, you might die tonight.
Yeah. Or you don't even know. You've been stuck out there for a week, and then you have no. I mean, you probably were going to die anyway of exposure and dehydration and stuff.
Right.
Anyway, so like the snake bite, that was the last nail in the coffin.
Gotcha.
Like, that was it for you. Like, and I'm sure that person in their mind after they get bit, they're like, well, I was obviously not meant to be rescued out of here. This is it for me.
You know what I've always been fascinated with, and I don't see as many of these now, and I don't know why that is, but there was a time when I think I was deathly afraid of anything spider and or snake that could bite you, and then you would be told this tale that the venom that this particular spider and or snake would have would just destroy all flesh of the area. And then you'd see like men that would have these huge spider holes in their big fat beer guts.
Yeah.
And it'd be like, oh man, this thing, I don't. And then they'd have the huge stomach, like a giant scar hole. And I'm like, well, how the hell does that, who created that stuff?
Yeah, it like dissolves the skin around it. It's
it like kills it.
Yeah. And then you're right.
And then you get can they, put a little Bondo in that, smooth it out? How do they fix that?
I think they get skin from your ass, and then
I don't want ass skin on my. I don't.
Or your legs.
I'm a traditionalist, and if I have, let's say, I have a horrible Freddy Krueger scarring to my face, and the doctor says we can fix it.
Yeah,
we're gonna take your foreskin. I'm like, no, sir. No, sir. You leave me alone, sir.
But it's made of the same material as your lips.
I'm like, I am who I am. I am Freddy Krueger. And I'll stay Freddy Krueger. Because I feel you could get teased less as Freddy Krueger burn face than you would be in penis face.
What time?
If anybody would like to debate me on that, you can call into the show.
What time did you get back from your bus trip?
Going to Tampa in a bus is very easy. Leaving Tampa in a bus is not so easy. The bus ride there was just like a normal trip to Tampa. We left about a half an hour after the end of the game, and I think we didn't get home until like maybe 8. So it was a minute. And my ass went numb from sitting on the plastic bench. Like sitting at the game and then sitting on the bus. Like I got to a point where I was like, I can't sit anymore. I got to walk around. Like I started to freak out a little bit.
Did they have a bathroom on the bus?
They did have a bathroom. Really not. It was a nice ass bus, dude. Yeah, like this is the nicest bus I've ever been on. Real Radio was like spending some cash.
Like a big luxury coach?
Yes. Nicer than any one I've ever been on. It had like fancy TVs. I had my own air conditioned vents. I had my own row.
If I know Real Radio, this is a Bucks promotion to spend the money.
I don't know. I don't know. And it wasn't Scott York. It wasn't. I asked. It was some other new company they work with. So shout out to George. Thank you, George. Your buses are great. Pretty damn good.
That is good. All right. Well,
you want to take a little break?
We will take a break. When we come back, we have a segment with Pat and Taco Bob. We also, what was the third segment we recorded?
I got
the artist.
Oh,
yeah.
Mila, the ass artist?
No. Moreau.
Oh, Moreau. Sorry, Moreau. I didn't mean to call you Mila, the ass artist.
We'll be right back.